All right, what's going on, everybody? It's Nico Moreno here, and I want to make sure before we get started today, I've got a very special guest for you guys. I'm super pumped up to be here doing this live Q&A for everyone. But before we get started, I know sometimes there's a bit of a lag with this Be Live thing. So if you guys are watching right now, if you're on here right now, be sure to give us a like and give us like a thumbs up, give us a comment down below. Say like yes, or let us know if you can hear us, if you can see the screen. It should be Austin and I here on the screen for you guys today.
What's
So
up?
yeah, so here's Austin right here. Austin is an incredible, amazing funnel builder, bot builder, and member of the Messenger Bots course. He was one of the first people to
Yes.
join, and
Oh, I was? I had
yeah,
no
you
idea.
were. You joined like during the first like right when I first launched it.
Yeah,
So
yeah. That's
yeah,
that was an interesting story, by the way, and I'll probably touch bases on that.
awesome. Okay, we got a commenter that says hashtag live. Okay, awesome. Cool.
Woo!
So
What's up?
someone's watching us live. Yeah, so if you're watching live, be sure to give us a comment live. If you're watching the replay later on, comment replay down below. And yeah, just make sure, let us know that you can hear us and that you can see us and that you're all good. Give us a like, give us a love, and we're going to go ahead and get started. All right. So, Austin, I want to give you a couple minutes to just quickly introduce yourself. We're going to obviously go into more about your story and the incredible results that you've been able to get for yourself and for your clients.
Yep.
But why don't you just tell us a little bit about you, all right?
Okay. Well, anyways, my name's Austin Ford, and I think it'd probably be cool just to tell a little backstory first, like to understand kind of my struggle and how I got to this point. You think that's cool?
Totally, yes.
Okay. Okay.
A lot of
So
people will be able to relate, I'm sure.
So, man, where do I begin? There's so many crazy things that happened in my life. I want to say that like I've always been an entrepreneur at heart, and I've always been like trying to like sell things on the internet since a little like when I was like I think like 16 is when I started trying to sell stuff on eBay. Um,
Oh man.
and the first product I ever sold on eBay was this is funny. I was really into like computer games and like I'm a very creative person, so I would like literally like play games. I would play games, but then I would actually edit and like do the editing for the map making and model creation and all that stuff. Like I would do that more than actually playing the video games. Like that's just the kind of stuff I like to do. But anyways, I was like super into computers, and I remember my dad was like, "Hey, you should go like sell some stuff on eBay. I think you'd be good at that." And I was like, "eBay, what is that?" So I went out and checked it out. I was like, "Well, cool. I could probably like sell some computer parts on here, make a little bit of money doing this." And I started getting those creative juices flowing, and so I went on the Newegg, and I found like some computer parts that I wanted to go ahead and sell on eBay. So I went ahead and marked them up. I didn't even buy them or anything yet. I just took them off of Newegg, put them on eBay, went ahead and marked them up. And this guy contacted me, and he's like, "Hey, like let me I want to make a big order with you and like do a lot of computers. Can you email me here?" And I was like, I was young, so I was like, okay, yeah, sure, I'll email you there. So we actually ended up getting off of eBay. That was my first mistake. And the guy ended up wanting like this $5,000 laptop, a bunch of like a bunch of computer parts, whatever. And my dad went ahead, forked the money for me to get all those things. And then like, I got the package ready for the guy and I was ready to ship it out. My dad's like, "Where's this going to?" And I was like, "I don't know, some guy in India." And he was like, "What?" And I was like, "Yeah." So he was like all freaking out. And I was like, what's wrong? What's wrong with people in India? And like, I had no idea. Anyways, we ended up shipping the box out. And 3 days later, the guy told PayPal that he had no idea who I was, and he got all of his money back, and he got like $5,000 worth of merchandise. So that
Oh
was like my
man.
first experience as an entrepreneur online. It wasn't my own money; it was my dad's, but I heard about it for the next 15 years.
That's a huge bummer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I ended up kind of getting out of that, and I'm not going to make the story long-winded, but I ended up getting into personal training online later on, and I was like, you know what, like, I could make a pretty decent living if, I got like 50 clients, paying me $100 a month, doing the online training stuff. And I was like, okay, I think I can make this work. So I did all kinds of crazy stuff. I did like, I built a website, did the blogging, did the Instagram stuff. It was just like,
And this was all like for fitness, just so
yeah,
people kind of.
this is all like for fitness stuff. And like I tried doing friend referrals and like nobody wanted to buy my stuff. And I like spent 6 months building a website, launching it, and nobody came to my website. It was terrible. And I ended up making no money from that business for almost 2 years. I was married at the time, so it was like I had to make money. My wife wasn't very happy with that. So yeah, it's been a struggle like at the beginning of my career, like being an entrepreneur. But then, you know, I ended up following, I was like, okay, I have a big issue with getting clients. Like that is my biggest issue. And I was like, how can I attract more clients? So I started looking at Facebook ads. I started looking at funnels, and that's kind of how I fell into following Russell Brunson and all his different material and stuff. And I tried different things, but I couldn't get anything to really click. I was like, something's wrong. Something must be wrong with me. Like I can't like sell anything online. Like every time I launched something, it was crickets, like forever. So anyways, how I got started with being where I am now is just freaking trial and error and struggles. And I ended up stumbling upon your course. And I was like literally, I want to say I was in a point where I was desperate in my life, and I was like, okay, I just joined your group. There was only like I think 400 people in this group or something, and you were like doing these interviews and posting this stuff about bots. I was like, oh man, something else for me to learn to do. Do I really want to do that? You know, that's one of the things I'm learning now is like I need to start getting away from like trying to learn everything and find people that actually want to like that I can just like delegate processes to. But anyways, I was like, my credit cards were maxed out. My wife was mad at me because I wasn't making any money. And I was like, I don't even know if I have enough money on this credit card to put towards Nico's course to even pay for it. Like literally when I was like typing in my credit card information, I thought it wasn't going to go through. I thought it was just going to like deny, and I was going to be like, oh shit, I'll just go on to the next thing. Excuse my language. So yeah, so I ended up, I put my credit card information in. It went through, and I was like, I hope my wife doesn't see this. I was like, man, I just that's when you were doing your promotion or whatever. So anyways, I got in, and I started doing the bot stuff. And like what we're going to be talking about today is kind of, you know, my first client and what I was able to do with him. But man, like I like found something that was working and like something I could start being very profitable with. And like I said, I had those creative juices. So I ended up like totally quitting my personal training career. And I was like, screw that. I like this marketing stuff. I think this stuff's cool. I like helping people get leads. I think the biggest thing with you know, helping other clients is you need to be an asset for their business. When you become an expense for their business, they're not going to want you anymore because you're costing them money. But as long as you're an asset and you're constantly bringing them leads and more money, they're going to want to do business with you. But there's a twist in the story because these people ended up not doing business with me, but I'll discuss that later. But I hope that answers your question. I'm sorry, that was like super long-winded.
No. I wanted to like make sure everyone on here kind of gets a good feel of your background and kind of where you came from.
Yeah. So it was.
Yeah, why don't you let us know, I guess, a little bit about. So what we're going to be talking about here, you guys, is how Austin got this incredible result for his very first bot client, like the very first one.
Yeah.
You got them really incredible results, and I still remember you and I talking about this like as it was going on, like in the very beginning.
Yeah.
And it was absolutely incredible. I was just like so blown away, like for you and for your clients, and like it was just incredible. So why don't you tell everyone a little bit about like, I think what a lot of people struggle with, kind of like what you were talking about earlier, is actually like getting their first client. That's
Yeah.
like the hardest thing, and that's like the biggest mental hurdle that I think a lot of people kind of struggle with. And I wanted to kind of hear your feedback as far as how you got over that struggle, how you got that first client.
Yeah.
'Cause I think that would be really, really valuable for everyone down here. So if you guys think that that's valuable, if that's like kind of what your big struggle is right now, definitely let us know down in the comments, and also let us know like some more questions you have. We're gonna have time for a Q&A at the end of this call, so at any point drop some comments and
Is,
we'll get
is
to
there
them
a
at the
way
end of
I
the
can
call.
see the comments or?
So Be Live is a little bit funky in that I think you would be able to see them if you actually watch the broadcast on Facebook. But for
Yeah.
some reason, you can't see them through Be Live. I can see them, but I can't see who says them. So I'm just watching on Facebook too.
Oh,
So,
okay. Okay.
okay, so Thomas says yes. So Thomas can definitely relate. So Austin, why don't you just let us know kind of what the struggle was at the beginning as far as getting clients, and kind of like the mindset and thought process that you had, and then the actions that you took to actually go out and get the first client and the first couple clients.
Yeah, definitely. I think the biggest thing is if you're just starting out, if you're just starting out in like a particular field, like the number one thing is you want to try to learn as much as you can really fast. But then there's a point where you have to stop learning and you have to start implementing. And a lot of people will constantly like keep learning and learning and learning, and then they kind of get in this like this it's just a never ending loop. They constantly learn and learn and learn, but they never implement. So the best way and the way that I've done it to get clients quickly and really fast, and whenever I was starting off something new, um, or if you just needed to build some authority really quick, is to go out and work for free for the first couple of clients. Like all you want to do is you want to show up with a mindset, hey, I'm not looking for any of your money, but I got this really cool thing and I want to help you guys out and see if this will work. Like, I mean, that's what I did to get my first client with the supplement store. It was a supplement store that I worked with. And I realized I walked in the door. I was like, hey, I got this cool thing. I want to try it out on your store. Um, and they said yes. I mean, that's how I got that first client. And I was like, the only thing I want you to do is if this works, I just would like you to make me a video testimonial about my results. That was it. That was like the only thing I asked from them. And they're like, okay, hot shot, like go ahead. And they're like, they had no idea what this stuff was. They were like, messenger bot, like, okay, whatever. Like people have tried, like they're old school too. They're used to like doing like TV ads and newspaper stuff. Like this was real old school. And it was funny when I asked that first store if I could help them out. I didn't realize this, but they were actually a chain. I thought it was a mom and pop supplement store, but it was actually a chain. They had
Oh, that's right.
across the United States. So it opened up this big opportunity for me when I ended up getting a lot of results for them out the gate. So yeah, so I think the best way to get your name out there, get some is to find somebody, work for free, get them really, really good results, help them out as much as you can, and then make sure you document your entire journey with them. Make sure that they give you a testimonial, obviously if you do a good job. And then from there, it's easy to get clients because you're like, hey, this is what I did for what's his name, and I can do the same thing for you. And a lot of things, and then I'll just leave one more point here. Niche down as much as you can, because um, if you can get into a particular market and you can be the expert in that market. So if you're like the expert with bots and doing roofing leads, right? Like they're going to come to you. So a lot of people get scared to niche down, but that's the most profitable thing you can do, because then you can just make a system specifically for that niche, and then you can copy and paste and duplicate it, because it works across the board. If it worked for one store, it's going to work for the rest. Obviously, there might be a little bit differences here and there, but you get the point.
Totally. Yeah. So I think that's a really great point that you brought up as far as kind of niching down. But so before we get into that, though, I wanted to ask you. So we've also got another question on here, Stuart. Don't worry, we'll get to your question in just a couple minutes. But I do want to ask Austin, what would you like? what is the actual kind of like conversation that you had with them when you were kind of like, selling them on messenger bots? Because I know both people who are in the course right now who are just getting started, and just other people who I interact with
Hmm.
out in the group and stuff like that. A lot of them, they really just struggle with wondering, exactly what they can say to a prospective client to just get them to say yes to even a free trial. So like,
Yeah.
do you remember how you kind of positioned it and what you said to this very first client in order for you to get a yes from them?
Yes. Okay. So um, I want to say it wasn't a yes right off the bat. It was more like maybe. It was kind of like, okay, yeah, well, like, can you show me? Can you show me like a demonstration or something? So I actually went back home and I put together like this entire bot, and I actually copied one of the flows that was in your course. Who was the guy who does gyms only?
Oh, Andrew.
Andrew. Yeah,
Yeah.
I copied his flow. I tweaked it in a way, and I was like, I asked the store. Here's the biggest thing.
Mhm.
Ask them what their struggle is. I was like, what is your guys' biggest struggle with clients? And they're like, just getting them in the door. If I can get them in the door, then I can upsell them on different things. And then I asked them, okay, well, how do you usually get them in the door? And they told me they usually use coupons. So I was like, okay, that's fine. Like, and I asked, here's another important one. I asked them, has that been working for you in the past? And he was like, yes, it has. So here's the cool thing with ads, and you can take this with Facebook ads, Google ads, like whatever you do. Like if a company is used to using like mailer ads, like they send mail out, drop mail or whatever,
Mhm.
and if they have like a promotion that works, don't reinvent the wheel. Just take that promotion, copy and paste it into a bot or a Facebook ad, and it's going to work the same way. You don't need to reinvent the wheel. It's
Mhm.
the same thing. So I was I want to say that what I did was I went home, I built out the entire flow, and then I showed them. I sent them a link in Messenger and showed them. And when they actually got to feel it and interact with the bot, I keep looking down here. I'm sorry, I know my thing's up here. When they got to
Don't
actually
worry
like
about it.
feel it and interact with the bot,
Uh-huh.
that's when it was sold right there. They were like, I like this. I want to see if this will work. And
Got
that's
it.
kind of the conversation I had, I guess.
Right. So it sounds like what you kind of did was you asked them what their struggles were in their business as far as getting more clients. A lot of businesses will have a struggle with getting clients in the door,
Yeah.
um, or they'll at least want more. And then also what you did was you asked them, is there anything that has been working in the past or hasn't been working in the past? And then from there you can kind of translate that into a solution using messenger bots. And if
Yeah.
something has been working in the past, then like great, you just use that exact same strategy but with a messenger bot, and then you took it home, you built it really quickly out,
Yeah.
and then you showed
So
them and let them kind of like see and feel what it would be like, right?
yeah. So I basically copied that flow in your thing, and I modified it because it was for gym subscriptions, and I was doing a supplement store, and their thing was coupons. They use coupons to get people in the door. But I was like, okay, well, what's really going to get people in the door? And they were a little hesitant about this at first. And so I was like, all right, let's give away a $150 gift card. Let's do a raffle giveaway because I
Mm-hmm.
saw some of your other videos about people doing giveaways, and it built a lot of traction for the particular business. So I was like, how about I do this? How about I do both best worlds? I say, hey, we're doing a giveaway. I said $150 gift card to one winner, anything you can buy at the supplement store, and all the everybody who opts in or gets a raffle ticket also gets 20% off. So that what that did right there was we gave everybody that second chance, like, hey, like even if you don't win, you can come in the store and use your coupon. So and that ended up working very, very, very well.
Awesome. That's great. So yeah, it sounds like you got creative. I like that. You like kind of took some ideas. You also took what was working. So if you guys are in the course, there's some like ready to go templates that like you just upload into your ManyChat account and they're ready. They're like, you don't have to think too much. Like
Yeah.
they're all set. So you just kind of use that, used what was already working in their business model. Then you showed them a working flow that they could kind of like play with themselves. And then you kind of got them to say yes, at least to the trial, right?
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
Awesome.
Um,
So we've
yeah.
also got quickly. I want to answer Stuart's question. So Austin, Stuart wants to know, how long did you work for free? Was it a month or longer, or was it a week or?
Yeah. That's a good question. I worked 3 weeks for free. So I would say it just depends on the client and if you're getting them results and things like that. And yeah, I'll get into exactly what happened with that. And I ended up getting in front of 65 store owners actually and doing a presentation about bots. So
That's huge.
I think the more value you can give up front, the better it is for you. But you know, you gotta have a limit on that too. You don't want to be working for free and like not being able to eat. You know what I'm saying? So
Yep,
um,
absolutely.
you know, I was in a situation where my wife was making some money, and you know, I could definitely do that, and we'd be okay. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't like detrimental or something that I had to make money right off the bat. But so yeah, I spent a solid, you know, like I ended up copying pasting this for 2 other stores, so it worked really well for the first store. I
Hmm.
was actually like when I launched it, I was like, man, I just scammed these people. This isn't gonna work. I spent like, you know, $800 on Nico's course. Like this ain't gonna work. And like, you know, I got all these like doubts or whatever. And then finally I was like, all right, like just post this post. So we did a comment growth tool
Hmm.
on their page. Um, I think we threw in like $20 in ads just to reach their network, you know, because you got to pay for everybody to see the post. But anyways, the first store we ended up only getting 140 opt-ins. And what was crazy was we were going to do the raffle ticket like a week later, and they were going to actually like draw it out of a hat. And I actually did the video with the store owners. I actually drove to the store to do the live video with them.
Oh, that's
Um,
awesome.
yeah, but before that happened, we actually um, we actually added urgency to the coupon, and said that they had to use it before the raffle. So it was like you know, they had to come in and use the 20% off before the winner was announced. So they had literally like a surge of I have the data right here. I'm going to look at it real quick.
Hey,
Um,
hey, Austin, I do want to go into the strategy in just a second, but actually, someone asked a
oh,
really good question that I want to kind of address um, right now, just because I think it's kind of
yeah.
the perfect time. So we've got Mariana who says, she says, this is a great secret out of the bag. And she says, thanks, Austin, you are honest. Smiley face. So I think what she's talking about is about kind of your mindset. And especially a lot of people who are, you know, maybe they're just getting their first client and they kind of feel like, okay, you know, I've invested into this program or this course, and like I gave this client like a big promise, and like now I feel like I'm going to be scamming them, like I'm not sure that I can deliver. And then it ended up working really well for you because you did a fantastic job. But can you just kind of talk about how you like got over, how you got through that mindset block, even if you still had
Yeah.
it, you know, as far as like, you know, feeling like you might be scamming these people, even though you were doing a
Yeah,
free
yeah, no,
trial?
there's deeper roots to this story because I ended up actually working for them in the past. I got in the whole proximity marketing thing. And I actually ended up selling them like $4,000 worth of beacons to a couple Max Muscles. And they were unhappy because they didn't work. So I was surprised actually that they let me give another chance with the bots, you know, and I talked to them and I was like, you know, I want to try this again, you know, and I'm sorry for screwing up there. But I think the biggest thing with the mindset is you have to model what works, right? And everybody says there's like rules, right? You know, like there's rules to doing this and there's rules to doing that. No, there's no rules. Rules are meant to be bent and broken. There's models though. There's a model to, you know, go to college and be successful. There's a model to stay out of jail, right? You got to follow the law. Like That's what Tony Robbins says. Like, if you model those who have already been successful, model, not copy them, but model them, then you're going to have the same results. So, yeah. So when I was about to like launch that, and when I had those doubts or whatever come through my mind, I think I just was like, I was in a desperate time. I was like, man, I just got to do this and see if this works and have some confidence in myself, because literally all the way up to this point, I have been like, I was trying to build funnels. I've been trying to do Facebook ads for my own little personal training business, and nothing was working. I was like, man, there's something wrong with me. Like, I suck at this for some reason. And it wasn't that. It was just, there's a lot more to that market that I was trying to sell to. And that's a whole nother like rant I can go on about. But yeah, I just kind of pushed through it, I guess, and said, and I kept remembering, I don't know who I heard it from. I think Russell said it at one point. He was like, just model those who are having success and you will have similar results. So I was just like, I want to do this. I just got to do it.
Absolutely. Well, I appreciate your like just being honest and upfront and like open and real about that. I think a lot of people out there can definitely relate, and I can totally relate with that story too. Absolutely, 100%. So, thank you for sharing that. Yeah, do you want to share? So, do you want to go into a little bit about the strategy? I know we're not going to be able to like
Yeah. I
anything
want
like
to.
that.
Yeah, I'll just kind of like
And
touch base.
Thomas asked, do you use ClickFunnels as well or strictly bot? I think you use ClickFunnels too, right?
Yeah. So right now I'm a funnel agency, and we build out entire funnels and business systems for people, and that's all we use is ClickFunnels, baby. I am a ClickFunnels fanatic.
Awesome. Love it. Yeah. And we actually got to meet at Funnel Hacking Live this year, which was awesome.
Yeah. That's I was really excited to meet you, and when I found out you were coming, I was like, that dude changed my life. I gotta meet him.
Oh, man. Yeah, that
Yeah.
was exciting. I was super stoked to get to meet you and take a picture and like hang out for a bit.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah,
Um,
so when I launched the bot for the first store, they got like 145 opt-ins, and like I said, we put some urgency on the coupon, and I was like so I've heard of urgency before, and usually it's like a lot of people do it wrong and it's fake, but this one I was like, listen, like we're gonna expire before before we do the live drawing or whatever, you need to come to the store and use your 20% coupon. And then we would like put like funny memes and stuff in there. I don't remember if you remember my post, but I had like funny memes
I
like,
do. Yeah. You had a ton of funny memes and you had a ton of emojis and everything in it.
yeah. So I was just trying to relate to the audience and make them smile and things. You have to be careful with that though, depending on what industry you're in, because you don't want to come off unprofessional. Obviously, if like if you're in like, I don't know, like a lawyer's office, you don't want to use a bunch of memes and smile. But
Right.
anyway, um, we were making them laugh. People were commenting back in the bot, and we ended up getting 45 people to walk into his store before he actually did the live drawing, and it was amazing. I was like, I couldn't believe it. Like, we did like a second
That's incredible.
campaign. Yeah, we did a second campaign for their anniversary. And like I literally launched it, and 10 minutes later he texts me. He's like, I got somebody coming in the store already. I'm like, no freaking way.
That's awesome. Yeah, you got it down.
Yeah.
Seriously. That's
So
awesome. So you had all these people walking into the store.
yeah,
What was your client's like reaction right when
they
you
were
like the
blown
first
away.
time?
They were blown away, and little did I know that they were actually talking to corporate behind my back and saying like, this guy's awesome. Like, you gotta like give him a second chance. I know he did the whole beacon thing, but like he's actually doing something that works now. And I was like, yeah. So I ended up getting them really great results, and they were like, a couple of the like main district owners, they were like, all right, this is probably luck. We want to see you do it for two other stores. So I was like, okay, fine. So I ended up like driving like 3 hours away to each one of these stores. One store was in one direction, the other store was in the opposite direction. I spent like 9 hours on the road one day, went in person, met these people, set up the bots, had the exact same results with the bots. Um, And it
So you
was,
just modeled what you knew was already working, and
yeah,
you
I
got
just
incredible
copied
results.
and pasted what I did from the other stores and put it on the other stores, and it worked. And they were absolutely thrilled with it. So between all three stores, I didn't make one store. I didn't make one store $10,000. It was between three stores. I ended up generating them $20,000, but after gross, like they have to, take out, they have to take the cut from, the stocking fee and their store and everything else. It ended up being like they made $10,000 within a week.
Oh, and
So
profit. Okay, so really
yeah,
like
that was
12,
profit.
20,000 sales and 10,000 profit.
Yes, exactly. Yeah,
That's
it was.
incredible.
Yeah, no, for a supplement store. So,
Yeah.
and then on top of that, I did a bunch of things, including like I increased their engagement like 1,000%. I did like 400 plus 5-star reviews on between
Oh
all.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
were seeing them all kinds
um,
of crazy results.
and likes. Yeah, it was awesome. I was like, man, this is really working. This is really awesome. So that was my opportunity to get in front of them all and sit down. And my idea was they kept telling me, hey, we got 130 stores that want to sign up for this. We got 130 stores that want to sign up for this. And I remember driving down the road late one night, and I texted you. I was like, hey man, can I call you? I hope this isn't weird, but I just need to call you and talk to you.
I still remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I ended up calling Nico for the first time ever speaking to him person to person. I mean, we chatted before through Messenger, but um, yeah, I was like, dude, this is working. It's awesome. You changed my life. Like, if I land this deal, it's going to be potentially like $40,000 per month that I'm going to be making between all the stores or whatnot. And I was like, thank you so much. And it all started with like literally like, when I was like almost broken, didn't have any money left on my credit card. I was like almost maxed out, and I like invested in a thing, and it just literally transformed just me personally and what I'm doing now to make money online. So I absolutely love the messenger bots. I love the marketing, and I love the funnel stuff, man. And you're the one who really kind of like set me free and said, and I realized like I can do this. It's not that difficult. So
Dude, I'm so just like I remember all of that. Like, I remember us talking on the phone, and like I'm just so I'm so grateful to have helped you like be a part of that, and to like yeah, be able to get through those mindset blocks, and to just step into the person that you are now,
yeah,
really. Because
yeah,
you always had it in you.
yep,
You just
yep. And
a
and
lot of
that's the
times it's
thing.
like
I want to mention that too. Like, when you start doing something, you're gonna suck, no matter what it is you do. I mean, you're just gonna suck. And right now, I'm thinking, I'm like, I want to start a podcast right now. That's what I'm working on next. But it's like, if you start doing like the objective is to put down the books. You've done enough learning, and you need to do some practical stuff and actually get out there and attempt to do things and actually put what you've learned into action. um, and as soon as you start doing that, you'll figure out ways. You're like, okay, well, this doesn't work, so what do I need to do right now to get the next step? And then I'll go and I like learn that little piece, and then like I'll do it, and then like I'll move on. You know what I'm saying? So like it's just action, man, and knowing you ain't gonna be perfect the first time around. So the first
totally.
store we did, we only got 145 opt-ins. The other two stores, they were in bigger cities too, but they got 500 opt-ins for each store. So it like tripled what they did the first store. So they were really amazed with everything that happened.
That's absolutely incredible. Yeah, I mean, I still remember like all those conversations. You totally like you took action, you went and you did it, and
Are you still there? I think I just lost you. Let's see, my internet's still on. All right, so I think it froze up, and I think Nico's coming back. But anyways, so yeah, I just taking action and doing what you need to do, and getting past that mind block that, you know, and they were like really excited with all the results. Hey, Nico, I see you
Hey,
again.
man, are you back? Okay, I'm back. Awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
Cool,
So
keep
I'm
going.
just gonna continue on with what happened with the stores and what happened with the deal to, you know, close the 130 potential supplement stores. So anyways, I ended up getting in front of like 60 people on a like Zoom meeting. Like they saw my face, did like a whole presentation and whatnot. Um, and I showed them the results. I showed them exactly everything that I wanted to do, and I presented my offer. I was like, I want $500 per store per month, for me to constantly keep doing the bot stuff and a little bit of Facebook marketing and things like that. So I was like, that was my pitch at the end of that. And I guess what happened was these people were they were old school, right? They like half of them that got on there, they didn't know what Messenger was. Half of those people didn't have a Facebook, and the people that did have a Facebook didn't have Messenger installed, and they're like, nobody uses Messenger. And I was like sitting there trying to show them, I was like, hey, like these are the results I got you guys. Imagine if I kept duplicating that month after month. Like, you know, that's what I'm trying to show you guys. But they couldn't fathom paying $500 a month, and they tried to wiggle me down to doing it for like $250 per store. But at the end of the day, if I was to manage 100 different stores and do all that work, it was just going to be miserable for myself on my part, and I wouldn't have I wouldn't have more money to like delegate, like outsource that work. You know what I'm saying? So
Absolutely.
I ended up actually leaving that whole deal. And this is another thing what I was talking about with the niches was like, I kind of knew in the back of my head who I wanted to serve, and it wasn't supplement companies. I mean, let me take that back. I am doing a supplement funnel right now for an individual. It wasn't brick and mortar stores for supplements though. That's, you know, that wasn't really my cup of tea, to say, I guess. My thing is, you know, I want to serve experts and coaches, and people who have, you know, like incredible products that are going to like transform other people's lives. Those are the people that I want to serve. So I ended up walking away from that entire deal, and you know, I probably left a lot of money, but I also left a lot of misery of me like working with all those different stores for under minimum wage basically, and slaving over all that. So, but it was a great experience, the entire thing. I learned exponentially from all of it.
Yeah, I mean, well, you got them incredible results. You did the work. Like some people are just they're gonna try and wiggle you down to like $200 a month for the incredibly valuable service you were doing.
And I ended up getting a couple of them that contacted me, and they were like, hey, I see the value in this. Can you do this for me and this and this and that? And it was like all custom stuff. And I was like, dude, like if you want me to do all that, it's gonna be like $2,000 a month. Like, you know, the $500
that's what you should. That's what the value really is.
Yeah, the $500 month package was for me to like copy and paste for all the stores, and they all wanted to do their own thing, their own coupons, and all this other crap. And I was like, I ain't dealing with it. I'm out of here. I show you guys what bots are, and it's pretty awesome and it's cool. So good luck.
Right. So, I mean, for everyone watching, like, it's important to know that there's going to be a lot of people out there who are going to, they're going to, see the value in what you're offering them, but they're going to try and like wiggle you down to a price where it's just not worth it for you. It's not worth your time. And you can go out there and you can find clients who are actually going to respect you for the value that you're bringing to them. And they're going to be willing to pay you a fair price, which in Austin's case, this was like way below what he knew he was worth. And so
Yeah.
I think, you
Yeah,
made you made that decision.
you guys gotta set your value limits. Like you if you know how to do this stuff, you gotta realize the other 99.99% of the population doesn't know how to do this. So that makes, like I said, you're an asset to that business. And if they can't see that you can make them more money, and they want to try to pinch pennies and nickel dime you down to nothing, I just walk away. They ain't worth. You don't want to work with those type of people.
Absolutely. So Austin, we've got a couple questions here. Before we get into the
All right.
questions, you guys, though, I want to ask you really quickly, just like completely honest, and like this was not scripted or anything. Like, what would you say? I just want to know, like, for all the people out there who are watching, who are maybe on the fence, like, what would you say about your experience, deciding to join the Messenger Bots for Entrepreneurs course, and like how it's impacted you and how it's impacted your life? What would you say?
I would say it was scary, but wherever there's fear, and if there's something that you're scared of, and if you do it, there is a lot of growth that can happen afterwards. And Nico's course, I mean, I went from just doing bots and Facebook ads because I also joined another mentors program and I learned a lot about Facebook ads. But I did bots with Nico, Facebook ads with him, and now I'm running a full-on agency where I am literally like building entire sales funnels out for people, building bot sequences, building building out the Facebook ads, the Google ad traffic. Like we do everything in house now, and we charge really big high ticket prices for that. And dude, just your course alone opened the doors up for all that for me to for all that to happen to me. And yeah, I just like the price of your course is you gotta up your prices, dude. Like it's just worth way more than that.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. And I love that quote that you said, like, where there's fear, there's so much room for growth, like right on the other side.
Yeah.
I absolutely hear that. And that resonates with me a lot. So thank you, man, for saying that. I appreciate it. So we've got a couple questions here. Do you want to I'll read them off and then we can kind of just answer them really quickly. Is that cool?
All right. Yeah, let's do it.
Awesome. And anyone else who's sticking on the live right now, if you have last minute questions, we're gonna kind of get this wrapped up. But if you've still got more questions, be sure to drop them below, and we'll get to them as well. So let's see here. We've got someone says, Jackie says, do you target businesses with Facebook business pages with a certain amount or a minimum amount of followers, or do you just do paid ads to get the engagement to the page to the bot?
I do both, but here's a trick. If you go out, and this is a good tip. You might want to write this down. If you go out and look for pages or small businesses that have a lot of likes already on their page, and they probably have a decent list, you can go to them and be like, hey, let me run an ads campaign for you, and it's not going to cost you any money. And they're going to be like, what do you mean? And all you're doing is you're tapping into their current list, like what they're already doing. Like, let's say, like for instance, with the supplement store that I was working with, here's another good example. Like I found out that they had like a list of like 5,000 people on each store with the texting app. They sent text messages out. So I literally, said, hey, we don't got to spend ads. Like, let's just do this. And we put a little we put the little reference URL in the text message, and then we had all these people opting into the bot. Like we tapped into the market they already have. So yeah, I think it's a great idea to go out and find pages that already have kind of an audience built, because you could definitely leverage that and make them a lot of money right then and there without them having to spend money on ads. But eventually they're going to want to grow that list, obviously, and they're going to want to have more people on that list. So you're going to have to do Facebook ads. So that's a good way to get people in the door. I know a person, his name's Rob Bailey. He only focuses on gym niche, and that's the first thing he does for the first 2 months. He doesn't do any Facebook ads. He doesn't do any paid ads. He just retaps the market using texts, messenger bot, and ringless voicemail. And the gyms are just like, wow, you just made me a bunch of money this month, because he has a system, right? And he just copies and pastes that thing for each gym, and that's his niche. Like, that's the only thing he does. So, like, figure out who you want to serve, get the niche, and yeah, definitely, like, if you can start with a page that has a lot of people, it's a good idea. I'm not saying you can't do it the other way around, but it's a good way to start a relationship.
Absolutely. Got it. So we've also got another question here that says, can it be explained where ClickFunnels comes into the flow? So I think they're kind of asking, like, I guess, where in the process do you use ClickFunnels? I know it's probably kind of different from case to case.
It is, yeah. That's a really
really broad question.
A broad question, because it just depends on the client and what's going on. But I guess I could throw a real quick example. For instance, my wife is launching a course for travel nurses, or for nurses to start travel nursing. So she's targeting nurses that are in debt and need to make money. And what we did with the bot was we created the webinar funnel inside ClickFunnels. And then after they register on the registration page, there is a free guide that they can download. And the only way to do that is by joining Messenger. So they have to have Messenger installed, and they click that little reference URL. And that's how we're building our list from ClickFunnels to Messenger. But there's a million ways to skin a cat on this one. So it depends what you're trying to do.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for that.
I hope that answers your question, though.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, yeah, it just kind of depends, like, what the campaign is like and what the client's business model is like. But yeah, ClickFunnels is a great tool if you haven't started using it yet. Let's see, we've got another comment here that says, do you charge for, or it says, I assume they mean, do you charge for campaign or for, oh, they said, do you change campaign on bot? If so, how often? Not exactly sure what that means. Whoever said that, if you want to comment and clarify what you mean there, let us know, and we'll try and get your question answered. Next person says, how long did it take from getting Nico's course till you approached your first client?
Days. His course is easily digestible. Like, I literally spent probably 2 days learning everything about Messenger Bot. And honestly, like, I didn't know everything about Messenger Bot. But after I got done with this course, I went out and I started applying what I learned. And one of the biggest things I did to learn really fast was, because, like I said, you got to, like, get to a point where you need to stop learning and start implementing. One of the biggest things I did was I created, like, this huge macro calculator inside ManyChat. And I was like, okay, if I could create this macros calculator and it tells people how much carbs, proteins, fats, and calories they should be eating every day, depending on their goal. If I could build this flow out in ManyChat, I could build anything. So I went ahead and, like, I probably spent like freaking a week on that thing. And then finally it was done. I got it all done. And after I learned, like, there was probably everything you can use in ManyChat was in that flow. So, like, I learned everything about ManyChat, like, probably within a week. But definitely Nico's course was, like, easily digestible, and without it, I just don't know where I would have been.
Awesome. Yeah, and I love how you said that, it's at a certain point it's important to realize, like, you don't have to know everything. You just, like, you got to stop learning. Like, you learn the basics, then you go out there and you stop learning, you start taking action and contacting people. So
yeah, it's like building a car. You can read about it all day long, but until you actually go do it and, like, physically with your hands, like, it's a game changer, man. Like, you just got to implement and just start doing things. Man, what was that quote? I follow Steven Larson. I don't know if anybody knows who that is.
Oh, I love Steve. Yeah.
Yeah, he said something the other day. It was awesome. Oh, it says ideas aren't worth anything. Launch. Like, thinking and scheming and planning all day long isn't going to get you anywhere. Like, just do it, just launch it. And like, it's going to suck at the beginning and then just fix it as you're going. It's like typically with my funnels, like nothing is like, we try to make it as perfect as possible for the client. But like, as soon as we launch and start getting traffic into that funnel, like, oh, this is broken right here. So like, I'm going to fix that, and that's why like I usually have like a 30-day grace period after we launch a funnel where I'm like constantly like looking at it, watching the metrics and like fixing things as we go along, because you just don't know what's going to happen until you launch.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah, that's a great mindset to have. Like, it's not going to be perfect. You just fix it like as you go, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so last question that we got here is any suggestions about FB ads? What kind of ads are working well for you? So that's a
Facebook.
super broad question. Yeah, a super broad question again, but if you have any.
It depends what your market is, but I would say probably video. If you can do video and it's good video, and it's storytelling, so 90% story, 10% teaching, people like that kind of stuff, and you get a lot of engagement on that. And video ads are usually pretty cheap, so I would try to do video ads.
Awesome. Great suggestion there, Austin. So before we finish this up, I want to give you a couple minutes to just tell people like kind of where they can contact you if they're interested in working with you. I know you said you're doing kind of a full-on funnel building agency right now, right?
Yes, exactly. So so pretty much we help experts, coaches, and entrepreneurs with life transforming products create kick-ass funnels that are high converting and just crush it in the marketplace. So my website is www.funnelgeniuses.com, GENIUSES.com. And yeah, they can contact me on there or send me a message through Facebook on Messenger, and I'll be happy to chat.
Awesome, you guys. So anyone out there who's looking for a kick-ass sales funnel, I've seen Austin's work, obviously, and I've known him for a while now, and he does incredible work. So highly recommend that you get in touch with him if you need help in that area. All right, you guys. So thanks so much. It looks like there's no more questions here, which is okay. So yeah. Oh, we've actually got another question just coming in right now. One last question. So would you say person to person to get clients? So I guess they probably mean like in person. Would you say person to person to get clients is better than setting up funnels to draw in your client niche? I think it probably depends.
Yeah, I would. So nothing is better than having a face-to-face and being somewhere physically with a person. So again, figure out who your niche is. If you can get to that person quickly in your local area, I would meet them in person somehow and tell them what you can do, get results with that person, get a testimonial from that person, and then take that and start promoting yourself online with that stuff. Once you get the results with one person and you can duplicate the model and get the next person's success, it's easy after that. You just, there's a million ways to skin a cat here again and get leads, but yeah, so I would definitely reach out in person if you can first, to people you can help, and then follow up, having a funnel or something to lead people for lead gen with a case study, things like that, and be specific. People are scared to be specific, but if you can be specific with your niche, man, it's a game changer.
Absolutely. I think that's a great point. And yeah, so it looks like those are the questions that we've got. So Austin, I want to thank you so much for your time, and thank you for all the value that you've shared and the inspiration that you've shared as well. Because
no problem.
A lot of people that are watching right now are either they're in the place that you were, a couple months ago, or they're gonna be in that place, in just a couple of weeks, and they're kind of on the fence. And yeah, I just appreciate you sharing your insight, sharing your experiences, and sharing the incredible results that you've been able to get people, and now seeing you thrive out there in the marketplace. It's incredible.
It's a wonderful feeling being on the other side. But Hey man, every day I'm growing though, and I'm learning new things. I'm constantly learning. Um, but yeah, just somewhere along the line, you got to stop and implement.
Yep, absolutely, you guys. So with that, I want to thank everyone out there who's been watching. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you,
your
everyone.
time. And yeah, again, don't forget to contact Austin if you want to get more help with your funnels, if you want to work with him. And again, thanks so much, everyone. Have an incredible day. Have an incredible rest of the week. And I appreciate you for being a member of this community. All right, you guys, we're going to sign off, and I'll talk to you guys soon.
All right, bye.
All right, see you, everybody.